So how do you get your email opened? Critical question. I want to make sure this is, I think this is my fun little picture about the magic that happens out there. How does your email happen? Right? I just use the template in my computer, and off it goes to an email service provider. Then it goes through an independent service, right? An ISP, an independent, and off it comes back into your computer. ESPs are those filters for you, so that it will actually go through and not be spam. But most importantly is the from line. 60% of you, just remember we're talking about now, never later, you're looking at who's it from. So you want to have an email address, a domain name, email address is best. That shows what business you're from or what you do.
So when you say domain name, instead of having pete@gmail.com or yahoo.com, let's say Pete sells real estate, or pete@jrockcliffe.com or Main Street Marketing. So the domain name is the suffix after the @ sign. And so you can register a domain name that's the same name as your company, or maybe it tells people what you do. And so that's what she's referring to, is the from list needs to be, it's branding you and your business, but it's also building trust. As soon as it hits their inbox and they see and they recognize that domain name as somebody that they've subscribed to and opted in for your information, they're more likely to open it.
Exactly. So if it says pete@gmail.com, not quite the same. So a domain name, Hover, you can go to Hover online, hover.com I think it is, and get a domain name there. That's the one I think they do a good job and they're reasonable. I don't think you have to pay for, as long as the domain name isn't taken. But you can create a domain name pretty easily if you don't already have one for your organization. So be consistent and branded so that folks know who it is. And if it isn't your from line that they're looking to, then they're looking to subject line, right? So subject line that says July newsletter. Oh, right? Not so grabbing, right? Good news, good topic line. Anybody got a good one lately that made you open an email?
The way that I like to think about these subject lines is how books are titled. There's the title of the book, and then there's the subtitle. So the title is what intrigues you to pick up the book and think about opening it. The subtitle tells people what it does. So when you think of that and the way that they title books, books don't sell if the titles don't sell. If they can't get past the title and the subtitle, they're not going to buy the book or even open it. Same thing with an email and a subject line. So instead of using July newsletter, you might do something a little more compelling, like maybe ask a question or something of those like that.
Are you ready for July 4th, right? Or so, you might want to ask exactly something more compelling. 3 seats left, right? 20% off till, and the reason why I keep mentioning, do you notice what I keep mentioning in my topics here? Numbers. People like numbers. That's what we're finding. So people open. So here's a good one. Do they like even numbers? How many vote for even? Think people are more interested in even numbers? Oh, my accountant's here. He's saying no. It's true. People are really into odd numbers. Go figure. So your 5 top tips, your 7 top tips, that doesn't mean you can't do 10, but people love those darn uneven. They like it better if 3 seats are left versus 4.
So it's just like the magazines that you see when you're waiting in line at the supermarket to pay, and you see like Cosmopolitan or some magazine or the National Enquirer, the 9 most things you must ask or not do or do that. Those things have been proven to sell papers and books right there at the checkout stand. Same thing with the from line.
You had a question?
I got an interesting subject line recently in an email. It said, "Will you go to dance with me?"
There you go. Didn't that make you just want to click on that? It's kind of like, why? Why are they asking me that?
So
I got one that said, social media has ruined the marketing world. And I thought, I have to open. Are you kidding? Everything is so, what are they talking about? Made me open it though.
So one thing I learned when I was marketing new listings, I would send out an email, and I used to say just listed blah 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 address, and then I figured, why don't we try this? Did you hear what your neighbor just did? Question mark. Well, everyone wants to know what their neighbor just did, right? So the open rate
keeping
went
up with the
off
Joneses or
chart.
Snoopy, one or the
Yeah,
other, right?
That's right.
That's it.
Right.
So you want to think about that. Definitely, we have a rule: 30 to 40 characters. Don't go over it. It's just too much. capitalize and punctuate appropriately. The nice thing again about an email service provider, if you get my newsletters, you'll see I actually do capitalize words like you or an exclamation point I'll put in, and email service provider will help that go through for you. It won't be pulled up. As you all know, you get all that email that has all caps and punctuation and you think pharmaceuticals and I'm not going there and I don't even write delete. So there are certain things you can do a little more leeway on those. And then you just want to make sure, again, that it's compelling. The nice thing on most of our phones now and on your, when you're looking up email is that you can almost read the whole line too, the first line. So you get a lot of information. So here's how to avoid spam. You all know it, right? This is all familiar to you. I did actually just get an email with no from address on it. Did I open that email? There was no from address. Forget it. I have no idea how it got through. That was a no-go. I need to know, you want to know, and again, these are things that are pretty clear on spam, right? Obvious, weird punctuation. The word free actually can go through if you do use an email service provider. This is a story of a company in Seattle that is a favorite at my house because I have all men and they're carnivores. And all pork products, which if you knew more about me, you'd even know is more funny. But they love, right, at my house, pork products sell. So this is, the Swinery decided that they would start a campaign. They are a reasonable, right, mailing list, 3,700, that's pretty nice. And what they did is they got about an 816 open. So that's a 22% open rate. Does that sound, that sounds good? That sounds good, right? If you think about direct mail, maybe at a 1 to 2%, but again, that may be changing depending on how we start to incorporate that. But then you look at, the one thing I would say is when you're looking at your report, so look per industry, because it does differ. And you can click on that further in the report and see industry comparison, because 22% is nice. 20 to 30% is lovely. Under that is, 10 to 20 is probably okay, depending on your industry. Some industries are 7 to 12% open, though. So you need to be realistic about what happens. So what they did is they used this share bar that's been added, and I'm sure you find it with every email service provider because it's been mimicked. All you have to do is click on, before you send your email, to add the share bar. You understand what the share bar means, right? This means not that you're going to share on your Facebook or your Twitter or wherever. This means that people who are interested or like something that they read in your newsletter, click on whatever they have, and then they can post this on their Facebook or on their Twitter account or what have you and say, just read, this is great, I think you'll like this, right? So again, this is the word of mouth that we found that is becoming much more critical than even the forward to a friend, because people are going and sharing this way. It increased their views 500 times. They were liked 181 more times when they used the social share bar. So if you think about reach, that grew their reach 60%. And all they did was click to add that share bar to their newsletter. They don't have to do anything else. They just click a button.
So if you click to share, say I got it, but I wasn't on the list. I was one of the additional 485.
Right?
And I want to share it with somebody. Do I have to register and all that?
No, you can probably continue to share it from there.
Okay, that's one of the things I found on Huffington Post. You constantly have to register.
Yes.
I'm tired of doing that.
That's a good question. A lot of services now, when you notice, like if you wanted to retweet something, a lot of times it'll ask you first, you have to register before you can retweet directly off their site, which I agree. It can be really, how many places do you want to pass along your information or your social information? So yeah, be careful. Make your choices about how you want to share. So here is where you get that choice, right down here. You can also tweet to share. When you're sending out, this is when you schedule your email to go out, and then right below, and this is, it gives you an opportunity to edit whatever it might say, but here is really the better part now. This is the new and improved, called Simple Share, and this is specific to Constant Contact. I'm positive other email service providers will copy this because this is so popular, if they haven't already. Simple Share, where you can now determine all the different platforms it will go to the minute you create your email. So when I send my email out, it goes out immediately to my Facebook, my LinkedIn, everywhere. So it gets posted. So if your folks are looking for your newsletter and they don't get it in their regular email, they can then go and see it other places it's posted. I don't have mine linked to my LinkedIn because everything that I tweet is automatically connected to my LinkedIn. So Netiquette-wise, not pummeling everybody with the same information over and over. I don't have it go automatically, just because it's already done through a different service. So that's simple share. There's the share bar, which we just talked about. You can add to your newsletter. That's for other people to pass your word along.
So the simple share, that's, you put that on Facebook? And then the share bar you put on the email?
This simple share, no problem. The simple share is what you do. That's where you're taking the action to share it to your social sites. Wow, that could be a bad combination.
And it's on the newsletter.
And that's on your newsletter, or your invitation, or your whatever it is you're sending out.
The constant contact?
Right.
Okay.
But your share bar goes on to whatever you send out for those who read it to push it to their social sites.
So you get an additional readership.
Exactly. So it's pushing. So again, you send yours out. Gloria gets it. She thinks it's fabulous. Now she clicks Facebook, and it gets posted on her Facebook page, and all her friends can see it, or in their newsfeed, or what have you. Right? Or a tweet goes out and says, "Oh my gosh, check this out," and there's a link back to it. Yeah? Here's, again, your opportunity to increase your SEO. Do you all know what your SEO is? Your search engine optimization, right? You want people to click and see things, because the more they do that, the better it is. You'll go higher up on the list when people do a search. And this is a way to add you can insert a video link, you can insert a blog link, and you can do it simply by clicking a button. It's very nice, very easy. Video and pictures, those are the hottest, latest things, video especially. And the video could be a how-to. You all wonder, how am I going to use video? How-to, how to prepare for, right? Video, though, you don't want it to be 10 minutes long. If you're going to do a how-to, then say this how-to is 10 minutes, right? Or let them know.